Have you ever walked into a place for the very first time, and yet felt certain you'd been there before? Have you ever looked into the eyes of someone you just met, and felt as if you were reuniting with an old soul? It's not just coincidence, nor is it a glitch in the brain. There's something deeper, something logic tries to deny, but the heart recognizes instantly. We call it déjà vu, a fracture in time, an echo from another life, a whisper from a past your memory can't reach, but your soul has never forgotten. Some say it's just a trick of the mind. Others believe it's proof that we've been here before, that our story began long before this body, long before this name. But what if déjà vu is more than just a feeling? What if it's a key, a portal, to another version of yourself, to a memory that survived death? Today, we're going to cross that veil, between science and mystery, between the now and what once was. We'll explore déjà vu and uncover what it might reveal about your past lives. Science listens too when déjà vu whispers, but instead of portals and past lives, it looks for answers inside the brain, more precisely in a region called the hippocampus, the hidden conductor of our memory. It's there, among bundles of neurons and electrical impulses, that déjà vu finds its most logical explanation: a processing error. The brain captures an image, a scene, a sensation, but for a split second, it sends that information directly to the areas responsible for long-term memory, skipping the filter of short-term memory, as if you were recalling something that actually just happened. The trick: a temporal illusion, a collision of circuits between the present and an imagined past. Neuroscience calls it a double firing, a stimulus that simultaneously triggers the feeling of recognition and the awareness of the present. It's like watching a scene for the first time, but with the unsettling sense that you already know every detail. MRI studies show that during déjà vu episodes, the hippocampus behaves as if it's recognizing something familiar, even when the frontal cortex, the part responsible for reality testing, finds no real memory to match it. But what if it's not just an error? What if this glitch in the system is actually a subtle breach? A point of intersection between the now and something logic can't quite explain? Because sometimes the feeling is too strong to be just an accident. And that's when science begins to bow before the mystery. What if inside every cell of your brain there was more than just matter? More than electrical impulses and chemical reactions? What if what we call the mind wasn't merely the product of the brain, but a quantum field, entangled with realities you cannot see? Quantum physics, often seen as distant from human experience, is now inching dangerously close to what ancient spiritual masters have always claimed. Everything is connected. Inside the brain, there are trillions of synapses, meeting points between neurons, where signals travel at the speed of thought. But what happens between those points is still a mystery. Researchers like Stuart Hameroff and Roger Penrose suggest that within the microtubules, tiny structures inside brain cells, quantum processes may be taking place. They believe that consciousness may arise not just from neural activity, but from the collapse of quantum states that exist beyond linear time. In other words, your brain isn't just operating within the now. It might be accessing information that belongs to other timelines, other versions of you, other lives. This entanglement, what physicists call quantum entanglement, means that particles separated by vast distances can still behave as if they're connected. Now imagine that, happening inside your own mind, between the you of today and the you of a past existence. Déjà vu, then, could be the side effect of a quantum overlap, a moment when two memories from different realities collide in the same synapse. And for a second, you remember something that didn't happen in this body, but that vibrates so powerfully, it feels as if it happened yesterday. When that happens, logic goes silent, and the soul recognizes. Memory isn't made of facts alone. It's made of frequency, of vibration, of emotional resonance. Long before the brain records an event, the body already feels it, and more than that, the soul absorbs it. Sound, a subtle reverberation like the echo of a voice in an ancient cave. Science has already proven that every emotion carries a specific frequency. Fear vibrates differently from love. Anger moves on a spectrum opposite to compassion. Joy, grief, regret, peace. They all vibrate. They all leave a trace. But what if those frequencies don't die with the body? Think of vibrations as sound waves that never completely dissipate. They remain in the air, in the space between time, waiting for a surface sensitive enough to resonate again. And that surface could be you right now. When déjà vu strikes, it might not be just a glitch in the system. It might be a vibrational memory being activated, an ancient emotion buried in another existence, echoing like a whisper inside your body. It's not uncommon for these moments to come with intense sensations, a sudden chill with no explanation, a tightness in the chest, a tear that appears out of nowhere. You're not reacting to the present. You're remembering, even if you don't realize it. Sometimes you feel fear for no reason. Sometimes you feel love for a stranger. Sometimes you long for a place you've never been. These are the vibrational imprints of a story that goes beyond the flesh. And déjà vu is the moment the body resonates with something once lived. In another frequency, another life, another time. The brain may not understand, but the heart hears it and recognizes it. Because true memory doesn't live in the mind, it lives in the field. She stopped in front of the door like someone recognizing an old friend. It was just an old house, tucked away in the Tuscan countryside. Stone walls, weathered shutters, a forgotten garden. But the moment she stepped onto the threshold, something inside her stirred. Scent was the first sign. Burnt lavender with rosemary, damp wood, and something else, a sweet note she couldn't name, but that made her cry without knowing why. She ran her fingers along the wall. The texture of the stone was familiar, as intimate as the touch of skin. And then came the sound, an old, out-of-tune piano, playing 3 simple notes. In that moment, the body reacted before the mind. She staggered, brought a hand to her chest. Her heart beat as if it were coming home. But that was impossible. She had never been there before. Never in this life. And yet, she knew exactly where the staircase was. She knew that in the second room to the right, there was a painting hidden behind the wardrobe. She knew that in the basement, there was a scar on the wall. And there was fear. Fear of something she couldn't name, but that her soul had never forgotten. In that house, she remembered a life her brain had never lived, but that her essence, her field, her vibration, had never left behind. This isn't fiction. It's what many call soul memory. A vibrational recollection triggered by scents, sounds, textures, capable of crossing centuries, languages, bodies. And when that happens, the question is no longer, where does déjà vu come from? but rather, what is it trying to help me remember? The boundary between what is science and what is spirituality is fading. For centuries, we were taught to keep the two apart, as if reason and intuition were opposites, as if the visible were truth and the invisible illusion. But there is a concept born from biology and embraced by spirituality that unites both worlds. Its name, the morphogenetic field. The term was coined by Rupert Sheldrake, a British biologist who challenged the limits of traditional science. According to him, all living things are connected to an invisible field that stores information about shapes, behaviors, and patterns. These fields don't exist inside the brain. They surround it, like clouds of information, waiting to be accessed. Sheldrake proposed that when a behavior or experience is repeated enough, it creates a kind of path in this field, and all beings connected to the same species can tap into it. It's as if the morphogenetic field were an invisible library, shared by all living things, and you carry within you a vibrational key that opens certain pages. Now imagine this. What if déjà vu were an involuntary access to that library? What if, for a brief moment, you tuned into the exact frequency of a memory that isn't yours in a biological sense, but deeply resonates with your soul? Some spiritual thinkers believe the morphogenetic field is where past life memories are stored, not in the physical brain, but in the field that surrounds the body, in what some traditions call the Akasha, or the memory of the universe. When you feel déjà vu, perhaps you're touching that field. Perhaps you're remembering yourself in another life, another skin, another name, but the same frequency. Science has yet to confirm this field with numbers and formulas, but the phenomena it explains echo with uncanny accuracy through the deepest human experiences. When science dares to listen, it begins to realize that the invisible is not absence. It's simply information not yet decoded. And little by little, what was once mystical begins to be measured. If déjà vu is a crack in time, how do we open that fissure by choice? How do we access the memories buried between the layers of the soul? The answer isn't in effort. It's in presence, in silence, in listening. There are methods, both ancient and modern, capable of activating vibrational memories that live beyond the logical mind. Techniques that fine-tune your frequency until it begins to resonate with what has long been dormant. Let's explore a few of them. Conscious regression, hypnotherapy. Regressive hypnosis is perhaps the most well-known. Guided by a trained therapist, it leads the mind into an alpha or theta wave state, where logic softens and the unconscious begins to speak. People report vivid visions, names they've never heard, places they later discover to be real, sensations so intense that the body reacts as if everything is truly happening. But be mindful, regression is not a spectacle. It's a portal, and it should be approached with care, preparation, and emotional safety. Vibrational memory meditation. Some traditions teach specific meditations to recover soul memories. They don't ask you to see, they ask you to feel. Sit in silence. Breathe until your body dissolves, and then rest to feel. Not to see, to feel. Where does it hurt without reason? What moves you deeply without explanation? In what era does your soul seem to find comfort? Memory doesn't come as a movie. It comes as frequency, and the body is the first to remember. Automatic writing or channeling. In altered states of consciousness, many find answers through writing. Not rational writing, but spontaneous, as if another part of you takes your hand and begins to guide it. Names, words, fragments of stories. At first, they may seem random, but little by little, they repeat. They organize, and they reveal something that was always there. Sensory triggers, textures, flavors. Certain aromas have the power to unlock memories no words can reach. A specific incense, the taste of a forgotten dish, the sound of an ancient instrument. Create the space, awaken the senses, and observe what moves you with no logical explanation. Lucid dreaming and recurrent dreams. Dreams are also portals. Many people have the same dream for years, with places, faces, and stories that don't belong to this life. Learning to induce lucid dreams can allow you to consciously explore those scenarios. Ask questions, observe, engage. Sometimes all it takes is asking before sleep, "Who was I?" and listening to what the silence brings you at dawn. These techniques don't guarantee instant answers, but they refine your inner listening, and little by little, the soul begins to speak. Because the truth is simple. You already know. The part of you that lived before is still here, and when you are ready, déjà vu will no longer be a mystery. It will become recognition. You're not here by chance. If you've made it this far, it's because something inside you already knew. Déjà vu is not just a glitch in the mind. It's an echo of the soul, a reminder that you are more than the now, deeper than this body, older than this name. Throughout this video, we've walked the path between science and the unseen, between synapses and morphogenetic fields, between frequencies and memories that live in the bones of time. You've seen that the hippocampus may misfire, but the heart never does. That the brain is a bridge, but the soul is what walks across it. You've learned that your story didn't begin at birth, and that maybe what moves you without explanation, what draws you for no clear reason, what scares you without cause, might simply be you trying to remember. Remember who you were, who you still are, and what needs to be healed, reclaimed, or completed. Now it's up to you. Pay attention to your silences. Listen to your chills. Respect your gut feelings. They are not fantasies. They are encrypted messages from a part of you that never fell asleep. And when the next déjà vu appears, don't dismiss it. Don't run. Stop. Breathe. What do you want me to remember? And if this video resonated with something inside you, share it. Not as someone who sends a link, but as someone who lights a flame in another sleeping soul. Because there are many souls out there, wandering with memories locked in tired bodies. And sometimes, all it takes is a single word, a glance, to awaken it all again. You're not remembering by accident. You're finding your way back home.